you're back with us here at 3-Point View. There's only one guy who has more product in his hair than Clint Adkins, and that's Mel Kiper.
Oh, I had to think about who he was talking about. I'm like,
You were like, who?
yeah, I was. I'm like, really? Wow.
Mel
Clint
Kiper. He was stumped too. He's like, where's he going? Somebody took my title. So Mr. Aquanet, Mel Kiper came out with his draft 1.0. Who's he got at the 1? Who's he got going number 1? The shocker.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Mr. Wyoming, Mr. 56% completion percentage.
I like it. I love it.
You like all the
I want some more
intangibles.
of it.
You went all Brooks and Dunn on us on that one. Is that Brooks and Dunn?
I don't know who that is. You guys talk so much shit. I don't know what's going on. I like Josh Allen in Cleveland. I don't.
Is he worth the 1?
I don't like it at the 1. I feel as if he would be there at 4, and they could take somebody else at 1. Now, is it a possibility that New York jumps in and takes them? Sure, but I don't see it.
I mean, you got a point. But that if makes it okay. Take me at 1.
Yeah, but the same aspect.
I don't see the Giants taking Josh Allen though, and the Colts definitely aren't taking Josh Allen. So the only one left is either Darnold or Rosen. I would go Barkley there at 1, or I would go with Fitzpatrick at defense. The Browns have so many freaking holes that you can make up that in the back half of the draft. And we've all been talking about them possibly going out in free agency and getting a quarterback. So maybe, and this is 1.0, it'll be changed to 15.0 by the end of it. And maybe it'll change. This one does seem pretty accurate though.
I mean, there are some things on here I do like.
What if like we were talking about the Giants are just throwing up a smoke screen?
Oh, absolutely.
Like they don't really need a quarterback. Like Eli, how old is he? He's the same age as
Eli's
Big Ben.
36.
He's the same age as Big Ben and Phillip Rivers, and they ain't going nowhere. And Eli has had a way more, as far as injury than anybody.
They're gonna start looking towards the future. Because,
I get that, but like, what if they just telling everybody Rosen and they're not picking Rosen?
Then they don't pick Rosen.
And then they get Barkley, and then the Browns are left with not Barkley.
Yeah, but I mean, you have the Georgia running back. He could be a sleeper. You can get him later on.
And
we talked about this
see that
also.
too.
Dorsey, tell us what you said about Dorsey.
He doesn't draft running backs early. If you think about it, Kareem Hunt was third round.
Jamal Charles,
second round.
Spencer Ware.
I think he was a third rounder as well. Like none of them have been like first round picks. So he might not even worry about a running back there. It's kind of hard to say. They need help anywhere.
Well, he's also never had 2 in the top 5.
It's true.
So
good old Cleveland.
So, Josh Allen plays for Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't looked at the tape yet, he can do things that Darnold and Rosen and Baker Mayfield cannot do. He can sling it, pedaling backwards, 65 yards like I've never seen. It's even more impressive than. Here we go. It's Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type stuff, but he's even bigger than them. He's 6'5".
I think Roethlisberger is like the closest connection.
He's quicker. Did you see him run though? He's faster than Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger was mobile when he came out.
When he first came out,
he was
Miami of Ohio. He was in shape. He was skinny.
I want to see a stat on this. Top first round picks taken from non-BCS schools. If you think about it, the success rate is pretty high. If I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Carson Wentz.
Because if you're taking a shot at those guys,
they better damn well be worth it. But what I'm saying is,
Randy Moss,
quarterbacks.
Oh, quarterback.
But he's
he's
on the right page.
Talking about players in general, you know what I mean.
Tony Romo wasn't drafted.
Where was he? East
Illinois.
East Illinois,
Yeah, but like Carson Wentz, Steve McNair, Ben Roethlisberger, these are all non-BCS schools. So I'm saying you better damn well be worth it, like Carson Wentz, like the second pick in the draft, and it's turned out for
they
him.
normally stand out to you.
Right.
The ones that do get drafted high, they normally stand out because they have those intangibles.
I want to know how so many schools passed up Carson Wentz or Steve McNair or Ben Roethlisberger. I know Ben.
You see, they have when they go back on them when they were in high school, they were undersized, they were skinny.
Usually an
And
injury.
then they had their growth spurt or an injury, stuff like that.
You know the story behind Ben Roethlisberger.
I mean, even with Aaron Rodgers,
He went to JUCO before.
Yeah, he went
Cal.
to junior college. Even Cam Newton, he got
I mean,
arrested.
he was at Florida.
Well, the fact that they had Tim Tebow and Cam Newton on the same
Yeah.
roster is insane to me.
Right.
And then he got caught stealing laptops from dorm.
Mhm.
Really, dude? Really? So, my thing is, Ben Roethlisberger. The story is Penn State, because he's from Findlay, Ohio.
Mhm.
He got recruited by Penn State. They said full scholarship. You just have to change the tight end. He says, I don't want to play tight end. I want to play quarterback. Can you imagine?
He'd have been a terrible tight end.
He was huge at 18 years old. He was huge. His arm has not changed. He had that arm day one.
Yeah.
I remember, like, the playbook was simple, but day one, he went like 13 and 1 or something?
He won 13 in a row.
13 in
He
a
got the
row as a
record
rookie
for
quarterback when he replaced Tommy Maddox.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, how, Joe Pa, how do you, I know you're past, but how do you pass up on an arm? Like, have you thought of anybody? Okay, so Kerry Collins already happened, right?
Right.
Who since him is even, like, watch? I can't even,
No,
I
I
can't
can't think of
even
nobody
fathom
else.
anybody who even is on the same page.
You mean
as throwing the
Penn
ball.
State or just
Like,
in general?
Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball; it's a missile.
Penn State or just in general?
Penn State,
No.
just Penn State. Think about it. Since has one
No.
quarterback for Penn State even been in the same wheelhouse?
No.
No.
It's not like it's somebody. It's not like it's a football. It's not like a, let's say a
Wasn't he
tech.
a Michael Robinson at one point? Wasn't he a
Yeah,
quarterback at
he-
Penn
he
State?
He was.
And they
Fullback.
turned into a fullback for the Seahawks?
Yeah. Well, Penn State's not known for
Right.
quarterback play.
Well,
either.
Christian Hackenberg's probably the biggest name that they got, but he can't.
No.
He was the biggest thing, and the main thing with
He
Hack.
can't even start for the Jets. So
I mean, you can't compare Hackenberg to Kerry Collins. He threw a bullet, line drive,
Right.
Hackenberg can't
shots
quite hack it.
right.
So
Yeah, Roethlisberger's got a missile.
I'm just saying, I just don't get how these coaches, with the aptitude that they have for all these years,
No.
completely blow it. Completely blow it. How do they do this?
It happens. It
So,
happens. You
well-
overlook talent every day in the college ranks.
So that's why you see this talent. It jumps off the page from you
Yeah.
for Josh Allen. Does Rosen or Darnold jump off the page for you?
no.
I think Darnold's the most pro-style ready right now.
Yeah.
I think he can be a decent pro quarterback, but I see him as a poor man's Matthew Stafford. I think he can do the progressions
Yeah.
like Stafford, but I don't think he got that extra zip. I think he has a good arm. I don't think his arm is like Stafford can sling it. We all
Rosen
know that.
reminds me of Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
He reminds me of Phillip Rivers. The way he bounces around in the pocket like Rivers does, he reminds me of Rivers.
If
You
you
know who
watch,
drafted Rivers, right?
I took the time to watch Josh Rosen, Darnold, all their highlights, all their progression. Rosen throws a lot of iffy passes. Like
Right.
there's passes that he throws that would be pick
Well,
sixes automatically.
Donald does too. That's why.
Yeah,
he,
I know.
mean, he's double-digit interceptions this
Right.
year. You know, high double-digit.
Rosen's projected to go number 2 to the Giants at this
Yeah.
point, which is funny that you said that Rivers was that's who he reminds you of. 'Cause
Right.
Rivers went to the Giants first before the wanting
Well,
out.
he only got drafted. They
Yeah, they
had
did
to
the-
draft
they did
him
the
to
switch.
do the trade,
Mhm.
but yeah, that familiarity right there.
Yeah.
Coincidence or not, but Phillip Rivers, Josh Rosen, I think they kind of resemble each other a little bit.
Let's go past the obsession of quarterbacks right now. Let's just
Yeah.
jump outside the box. What do you think about the rest of the picks about Calvin Ridley? They got him going to Chicago.
Chicago at 8.
Yeah.
Do you think that'd be a good counterpart for Trubisky?
Absolutely.
That'll be replacement
healthy.
for the fact that
Kevin
Kevin
White.
White hasn't done anything they were hoping for.
He was what, West Virginia?
West
Yes,
Virginia,
yes.
right? Big,
Yep.
big recruit out of West Virginia. Who
Fast.
else we got on the list?
Yeah.
Smith, Raekwon Smith out of Georgia is a
Yeah.
beast,
Yeah.
and they got him going to the
Oakland.
Raiders.
Oakland.
That'd be
Oh
great.
my God, with Mac,
Mm-hmm.
Gruden.
that whole
Oh my
linebacking
God, they're gonna be ripping heads off
That
there.
whole linebacking core, I mean, from sideline to sideline, the speed that they're gonna have on top of the power coming across the middle. Look out going across the middle. No.
I'm excited to see John Gruden with a real quarterback.
Yes, I am too.
Like
Especially
he loves quarterbacks, man.
he is just like this, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but John Madden loved Brett Favre. John Gruden's the new John Madden.
Right.
And then you got Derek Carr, who kind of reminds everybody of Brett Favre. Same number.
I'm
everything
rooting
else.
for Derek Carr to come back. Like he.
Oh, absolutely.
He showed.
I like
he
Derek
showed
Carr.
flashes of
He's got
greatness.
good character. Showed flashes of greatness. He's a leader. He's a leader of men. as well,
Yeah.
not just as a leader.
He can improvise. Like
Absolutely.
so. Who else we got here, Brand? We got
What about
Fitzpatrick. Chubb.
on the defensive side?
Oh, he's a
Speaking on
beast
defense.
coming off the defensive end.
Indy needs some help there, and they got him going at 3 to Indy at this point.
Yeah.
And Indy's defense has been
You know,
for years.
if I'm Indy, I would invest in a line.
Offensive line.
If I'm Indy,
Oh
I bring
my God.
Dwight Freeney back. If you draft him, bring Dwight Freeney back.
Yeah,
on,
teach
him
on
something.
a
That
one-year
swim
deal.
move.
That swim,
The
that
spin move, yeah.
all of it.
We got Fitzpatrick, who Saban says is one of his
Superstar in the making.
superstar in the making, going to the Jets. Is he going to be Darrelle Revis part 2?
I think he's more athletic, more
Really?
of an athlete than Darrelle Revis.
Really?
I see him more like a Jalen Ramsey.
It's a good fit for him. It's a good fit for him. They got Barkley going at 4 to Cleveland, which ideally, if the Giants are seriously interested in Rosen, this would be a great draft for Cleveland to get their
Absolutely.
quarterback and a playmaker.
On paper.
Mm-hmm. Darnold in Denver. I know we already spoke about Darnold, but I think that might
looks
be
right.
the best landing spot for him. I think if anybody
Who else is going to walk in day one and have Thomas and Sanders and John Elway in your corner and Von Miller?
Darnold reminds me of Sam Bradford, minus the injuries. The way they play, the way they throw, the release, their stature.
I think Sam Bradford minus injuries with Denver's defense and Denver's weapons
Yeah.
is a-okay. Like I just
Sam Bradford's not a bad
Right,
quarterback.
he's
When
not-
he plays, he's good.
right,
Yeah,
but I'm
can
just
be.
saying if you say him minus injuries, I think he's
No.
a Brad Johnson. Like I'm just saying,
No.
like what's the difference between Sam Bradford and Brad Johnson? One word, injuries. Right.
No.
And Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
He wasn't that,
Right.
over the top, I'm the man, but he did what he
He
had
got
to
the
do,
job
and
done.
he didn't turn the ball over.
No.
There's one guy we haven't talked about on this list that everyone wants to talk about. They got number 13, Baker Mayfield, going to Washington.
That's
What happened? Like what was it, a month ago? Baker Mayfield? Is this like Baker Mayfield mania? Like I bought into the hype. Like I'm sitting here thinking, well, maybe he'll be a great quarterback. Like a month ago, too small, can't do this, can't do that, problems, character problems, so on and so
You've been
forth.
riding the Mayfield train
I
this
have
whole
the
time.
whole time. I honestly,
Choo
when
choo.
everybody else
I'm just
sees
now
in
kinda hopping on.
him as far as his personality flaws, I liked his personality. Like
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I feel like he's completely confident in himself. He's confident in his team. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He feels like
Mm-hmm.
For instance, in the ball game, you brought it up in the segment when they went up on him.
Yeah.
He didn't look nervous.
Didn't waver.
He didn't.
What'd he
Nothing.
do?
He looked pissed off.
He went like, I got you.
We got this. We're going back.
You know that look?
He
like,
lost in a ball
like
game.
Bortles today looks scared. Like
Yeah.
when he's
At the end.
Yeah, no, I'm talking when Brady threw that touchdown and they brought him, they were still down. They went to Bortles and Bortles was like,
Oh shit!
Oh, when it was
shit.
like 20-17.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my heart, his heart just fell out his asshole. That's what it looked
Yeah.
like. So I'm saying,
I seen after
Baker
Darius
Mayfield-
was on the ground and they flashed to him and he knew Jack was cutting off the field and Darius, he was like, "Oh shit, it's actually on me."
Mm-hmm.
He had that moment. I definitely saw it.
what quarterbacks, like, we know Brett Favre had that look. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you got up on Favre,
Mhm.
that look. Aaron
I like when
Rodgers.
Crab Warren Sapp's face mask.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers got that look.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, when that happens, looks like a psychopath. Like
Right.
he's just gonna, like a serial,
It reminds me
like
of
Jack the
Jack.
Ripper or something.
No,
Like,
from The Shining, coming through the door.
oh yeah, like he's like he gets a little kooky in there.
Right.
Like it's borderline scary what happens in Brady's head when he goes
How
down.
many times has he freaked out on somebody on his sideline and it just kind of been like pushed to the side? Like it's never.
Yeah,
he did
it's,
that today,
it's
too.
never a
Huge story.
character issue though.
No,
I
well-
guess if you got all the jewelry, it's never.
Well, what it boils down to is time and time again, he proves that
Right.
he can actually win.
So
it.
if
So,
Mayfield,
like, it's like, oh, okay.
say,
Crushed under
say
the
yeah,
la-
like, oh,
say
that's
last,
Brady. That's
Yeah.
just who he is. Good.
so say last year Mayfield wins a national championship,
Mhm.
doesn't get the DUI,
Mhm.
freaks out this year, takes the flag. Is it a character issue?
The media will make it a
Yeah,
character issue.
especially
So why is
when
it
he's
different,
young.
Brady?
Because he's young. Brady's been doing
He's
this
not-
for
yeah,
how many
he's
damn
not
years?
proven
Yeah,
He's
this
just proving in the
isn't-
college ranks.
He's young. He's young. He is a kid. I mean, can
I
those
mean-
be issues that somebody would sit there and pick apart for a young kid? Absolutely.
But think about it. They ripped Manziel apart
I-
before he came out.
I like a football player with a little bit of hassle and a
Edge to
little
him.
chip on his shoulder. You know that's competitive.
No,
So.
I like it too, especially when they give you that little smirk after they do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be